Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Susan Marra with Dr. Marra's Medical Minutes, and today we're going to talk about the effect that EMF, electromotive forces, has on molds and mycotoxins. So you know that mycotoxins are very small molecules that are emitted by molds, and they're actually used as a defense. And so in nature, mycotoxins are released by a mold when they are under threat. And that threat can take many different forms. It can be other plants, it could be animals, and I guess presumably one of those threats is EMF. EMF is a way that we discuss the degree of electrical forces on living beings. And we know that EMFs are potentially very dangerous to all living beings. And if you think about it, it's not that outrageous. You know, when in history have animals and humans been exposed to as much EMF as we are exposed to now, especially with the evolution of the 5G towers for the cell phones? So I think it was Dr. Klinghardt that did the study, but I'm not positive. He looked at the application of EMF to molds. And what do you think happened? When you apply EMF to molds, they produce more mycotoxins. So that shouldn't come as any surprise, right? Not really. I mean, EMFs are a stressor to all living beings. And is mold living? I would say yes. It's a fungi. It's a living being. It's different than a mammal, different than a plant, but it is a living being. And so it produces more mycotoxins. So if a human body is infected with molds, being around excessive EMFs is going to make the molds produce more mycotoxins. And in particular patients who have a genetic propensity for calcium channel ion genetic SNPs, these patients become severely ill. And I mean severe. Like they're so ill that they have to live in yurts far away from any EMFs. And basically what you have to do is you have to detox the body of the mycotoxins and slowly, do tissue repair and get rid of the fungi and so forth. And then they can gradually return to an environment that is low EMF. So they're never going to be able to go back into a high EMF environment. And that's really challenging in our present day situations. It's very challenging, and I feel bad. I have a patient that is so incredibly ill from the effects of EMFs on mycotoxin, and it's just tragic. And it's not well known. It's the same thing with long COVID, with tick-borne illness, with mycotoxin illness. It takes years for the establishment to recognize that it's a problem. And I'm just letting you know that it is a problem, and we see it here in my office. And the best thing to do is to get to somebody who is mold literate and who has experience working with these kinds of people. So I hope you found this information helpful, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.